today we are discussing unlocking the secrets of abundance and prosperity using a very simple technique. So I can't wait to share this with you. One of the things that we struggle with is changing where we are when we want more money or more abundance in any area, and it doesn't really matter what area. And one of the simplest ways to do that is to create a mind movie. Yes, I said a mind movie. Now, some of the tricks to that. So, the technique. The technique is, to close your eyes and without thinking about the how, just envision what it would be like to have what you really want. If you want a certain income or a certain job, envision your life if you have those things. What you would be doing, how your house would look like, what your clothes you would be wearing, who the people you would be spending time with. Create this beautiful vision of what your life would be like if you had what it is that you would like. And you want to create this and really detail it out. So, one of the very important things is you got to be in a place of feeling really, really good when you create this mind movie. If you just had, a really bad day at the office and what you're really wanting is a different specific job, that's not the time to try to create the mind movie. Because if you're not in a place of feeling good, it's going to be hard. Hello, Victoria, to create the movie with all the feeling, because you want to feel good when you're creating this movie in your mind. You want to viscerally feel amazing, like it feels so good to have this job that you want, and you imagine the people that you're working with and how your boss is, and you imagine all the details, and you really imagine feeling good and all these details happening. If you're trying to make your mind movie and you're not feeling good, like you can feel it viscerally, it doesn't feel good, it's not going to be effective. So then you can use some of the tools in your toolbox that you have to get you feeling better. And it may mean coming back at a different time, especially if something, really challenging has recently happened. And so if you have a playlist that you love, if there's activities that you love to do, or a particular person you love to hang out or do stuff with, these are all different ways that you can get yourself in feeling good. And there's a difference between feeling a little bit numb. Like sometimes we play video games or we watch TV or a movie, or we do certain things like that just to sort of shut everything off, which isn't the same as feeling really good. Now, there are times that we can hang out with somebody or watch a movie that really makes us laugh and feel full of joy that actually isn't numbing. It is making us feel good. So I just sort of wanted to clarify the difference, because something that makes you feel, not bad or good, just sort of neutral, isn't what you're looking for when you're getting yourself in the mindset to create your mind movie. And so the other thing is that I use my morning time, because morning, before I ever look at anything on social media, listen to anything, do anything, talk to anybody, first thing in the morning, it's the easiest time for me to get into the best space possible to create my appreciation journal and to be grateful for everything that I have, and to do, positive affirmations, reading positive things, whatever is or journaling, whatever is your method to get yourself in the best space. And that's a beautiful time to create these mind visions, these mind movies that are visions of what you really want to live and how you want to live and how you want to feel. And when you're doing those things or receiving those things, whether it's winning a championship or, getting accepted into medical school, then instead of a vision just the acceptance, a vision being in medical school and how much you enjoy it and how much you're looking forward to helping others and how fun the classes are and how much you enjoy your classmates. And those are the kind of things you envision to create this mind movie that will help you. And what it does, so let's be clear, the reason the mind movie is so helpful is in that space you start to attract, God, the universe will start to bring you different aspects that will help you achieve that vision that you're creating when you feel good, when you're envisioning that mind movie. And so because it's that belief that we have to believe in order to receive, and we only receive as big as we believe. So creating that vision that feels really good helps you step into your belief. And Victoria says abundance is such a great topic. Love your perspective on how it supports your vision. Yeah, and the thing is that the importance of the mind movies is it helps to attract those things to you to create what you want. And a couple of places we get stuck sometimes is we decide what we want, but we tell others who have a more conservative, more narrow mindset, less believing, and they will rain on your parade. They will say that's not possible, it can't happen. And if you believe that, then you let go of what really is meant to be yours, because you can receive anything if you believe in it. You can create it. You can be that. You all of it is possible, but you do have to believe it. So we let others take us out of believing it. And the other thing we do that takes us out of believing it is we start worrying about how can we do it. Instead of just focusing on the vision and how it makes us feel and what we really want so that the how can come to us, we start trying to make it happen ourselves. And what we can do in our just us without God, the universe helping us, is so much smaller. Yes, Kimberly, those who rain on our parade. And the thing is, people think they're doing us a favor. So many people think that, you know, people dream too big. Life, you need to face, quote unquote, face reality. That's not possible. And I know for a fact that I have been able to do things that I was told were not possible. I also know that when I believed people, I struggled and I was miserable and I got overwhelmed. And when you're overwhelmed, you are not lining up with God, source energy, and all of the things that you can really truly create. And it's so amazing when you start realizing that, because then you can recognize when you're not in the space that you could be. You're like, oh, it's always us holding it back. God is not withholding from us. The universe is not withholding from us. We block it, and sometimes that's because we let other people block it from us because we believe them, and then we get mad at them. Well, we chose to believe them. We don't have to, and we don't have to tell people that are going to be, because it's really hard. You tell people and then you try to convince them, and that takes you completely out of whack. You're not lined up anymore. And so we don't have to reason. We do not have to have others understand. They don't have to believe in it. We just have to make sure we stay in belief, and we stay, don't try to convince them. Don't keep talking about it to people that want to convince you it's not possible. Don't do that to yourself. That's asking too much. And that's where we start to build a bigger circle. That's part of why I have this group. This is why I do what I do, is I want to be one of those people that's lifting everybody else up and having them believe in their dreams and watching them be able to create what I know they can create. Kimberly says, up until recently, I would tell my kids that their dreams were foolish. Not anymore. Yes. But see, you didn't know any better, right? You were doing what you've been taught. And so we have to remember that when people do that to us, they're doing what they've learned. They truly believe that. And they don't know that you can do it differently. And a lot of it comes around, it definitely happens around abundance and prosperity, because if you want it to really, any of us can create outrageous prosperity when we choose it. But to do so, we do have to step outside the box. We have to dream bigger and believe in things that come in different ways. They don't come the usual way, and they do come from us believing in ourselves and being different, being unique, accepting our uniqueness, not only accepting it, thriving in it, believing in it, jumping into it, dancing with joy in our uniqueness, and being willing to put it out there and not care if other people try to shoot it down. And the power is in creating a support circle of beautiful people around you. The most successful people have had so many people try to shoot them down. Think about all the things that Taylor Swift has had, happen. The mean things people have said, still say. And so many other, Caitlin Clark, and a lot of, athletes and artists get a lot of pushback. And artists in particular, because, I wanted to be a singer, and my mom was having none of that. Absolutely not. That's not practical. That's not smart, and that's what happens to a lot of people who want to be artists is everybody saying, hardly anybody makes it. Well, the people that make it are the people that decide that they're willing to believe in themselves. They're willing to go knock on doors. They're willing to go the extra mile to be and do who they really feel like they are. And every artist on the planet that is a successful artist has had to do so in the face of adversity. So if you want to look to people who are willing to be unique and step outside their comfort zone or the comfort zone of the people around them, look at any artist in any genre of art, whether it's music or art. Really successful authors have gone through that too when they stepped up and were doing it as making a living at it. So those are people that we can look to say, hey, one way or another, they created that vision for themselves and they believed it. A lot of really professional athletes, because that's another place where people say, well, you need your backup plan, or you really, hardly anybody makes it as a football player or a professional player. You have to believe to the extreme if you want it. And you don't even have to be the most talented person. You have to be the person with the biggest vision, willing to step out. And here's the great news. Every single one of us has something unique that we can be incredibly different and successful and have as much prosperity as we're willing to step up and believe in. Everyone. It's not just for a few, as others will have us believe, but it is for those who will step up and believe in themselves, believe that they have that uniqueness and that they can have everything, and are willing to create the mind map and make the mind vision and make the time to watch that movie, feel that movie, make that time, get yourself in the best feeling place before you quote unquote play the movie, because you want to feel really, really good. That's what will bring you the inspiration and the ideas and and then you'll feel so excited. I mean, sometimes I'm just skipping down the hall in my house. I'm here by myself and I'm like, yes, 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 as stuff is unfolding. And it's so much fun. And then I'll catch myself when I'm not in that space and I'm like, so what am I using to hold me back? What am I thinking about that's taking me out of the game, so that I can use one of my tools to get me back in a better feeling place, and watch that movie as much as possible and create a vision board that has some of the things on it or all of the things that are in your mind movie. And you can create mind movies for different aspects too. The whole thing is, you want to create it in your best feeling place possible, and you want to watch it. Try to watch it every day. Try to find a time of the day where you create that space of feeling good and watch that mind movie. You can journal about it. Sometimes I watch it and then I journal about it because new aspects come into play, and writing even expands what it does for you and for your mind coming up with the next vision. And then the other big thing is act on those inspirations and ideas. How many times do we get this far in it and then we tell ourselves, well, I'm not ready for that yet. And then we'll say, well, I don't know if God meant for us to do that. If the idea is there, that's God. The universe is nudging. Do it. And the thing is that you might have to course correct, right? Your first idea might not work out perfectly, but you can't get to where you want to go when you're standing still or going in reverse. You can only get there by moving. If you're moving and you're going in one direction and you need to course correct a little bit, it's much easier to do when you've got some motion. Kimberly, I like the idea of always reviewing the skip, because doubt is so, yeah. And this is why it's so important to recognize how you feel. If you use that visceral how you're feeling to tell yourself, so say you're saying the same words, but you realize, I'm not feeling so excited. Now we've got something that we're allowing to block it. And so then get yourself feeling good again in the best way possible, and then look at it. And so if in that moment, sometimes something has happened that's still following you, and that it's interfering with your ability to feel really good about it. So then use all your tools to keep working on feeling better and get to the best feeling place you can every day in the moments of the day. The other thing is, in the evening is a good time to remind yourself of the good that's happened in the day and review any positive things before you go to sleep. because sometimes the day can be wearing and we'll sometimes let ourselves get off into worry about something or other that's happened. Well, you don't want to go to bed and go to sleep on that, because dreams can help bring about some of these intuitions and inspirations for your next step. And if you go to bed in a negative space, that's where you're going to land for your dreams. And so take some time to resolve. And sometimes if something major has happened, maybe you can't get yourself in a place full of joy and skipping down the hall, but get yourself in the best place possible, because you'll be able, as you continue to use that and learn to use your tools always, to work on feeling better. You want to acknowledge where you are when you're not feeling good, because pretending that you're not feeling good doesn't improve things. But you also want to always work on feeling the best that you possibly can, using the most positive slant for whatever you're feeling. If you're missing somebody that's no longer here, think about the beauty of the time that you had, the gift of that person. Think about how your life is better in a major way because you had that person, even if they're not with you. There's all these tools that you can use to get yourself in a better space. We are blessed to get to be here, and sometimes our journey takes us through some challenges. And during those challenges, we get the opportunity to learn new tools that help us not only live an amazing life and get to choose things and recognizes what choices we're making, but we get to give that gift to others. And you definitely give to others when you share your journey, Kimberly. We're all blessed to get to support each other and lift each other up. That's one of my favorite things about creating this community, and it's one of my favorite things about doing what I get to do, is going places and speaking, and then meeting new people to add to my community, new people I get to support and love on, and that I learn new things from, new tools, new beautiful moments of life opening up for all of us. And we get to choose. We get to choose all the time. And we don't realize that a lot of times we choose by default. We choose by what we learned growing up, what we learned that was the best that our parents knew, or the best that our teachers knew, or the best that people in our community knew. And now we get to share newer things that help more people realize what they're actually choosing and choose more of what they really want and what they really can envision for themselves. And the more people that do that, the greater the expansion for the whole world, and the better life we all get to live as we step into more of the power of who we really are. And that's what making your vision movie, your mind movie, can do for you, is allow you to start attracting in so much more of who you really are and the life you really want to live. And the life you really want to live is a gift to everyone around you. And it will expand as you live that life and create those movies. You give the people around you that same opportunity. I love you too, Kimberly. It is 100% a choice. What path do I want to take? What fills your soul? What makes you... Yes. And I had no idea about that growing up. There were many years I didn't know that. No idea that honestly and truly everything I was thinking, the people I was communicating with, the people that I was friends with, that I had relationships with, all of those were choices. But they were, for a long time, subconscious choices based on old movies that were the only ones I knew that were not living my best life. And getting to choose and understanding that I'm choosing, and recognizing when I don't feel good that I'm choosing something that maybe isn't, optimal, and that now I can start to do things to feel better and choose differently, and recognize when I'm letting something, anxiety, worry, those are choices that we're making that are holding back the beautiful things. So when we worry about money or a job or any of the things, a partner, when we're in anxiety or worry, we are absolutely creating what we don't want. Because we're living in that space. So recognizing that and being able to say, well, this is not where I want to be. And then using every tool in my toolbox to feel better. And that sometimes that means turning away from, if I'm anxious about something right in that moment, I can't pivot to being excited about it. But what I can do is listen to music that makes my heart sing, go back and read my appreciation journal of wonderful things that have happened and things that have come to me to remind me that beautiful things do come, and I have overcome, and I have done incredible things, and I can continue to. And so that helps me too, which is another reason to keep your journals, so that if you hit a hard spot, you can remind yourself, oh yeah, I am capable. Because one of the things that I really had an aha moment recently, God, the universe is amazing and powerful, but so are we, and we have to line up with our power because we have to believe in it. Right? If I believe that it's outside of me and not within me, then I don't open up to let it in. I'm still waiting for that outside thing. And we have to believe big in order to receive big. And sometimes that's where we get hung up. That Victoria, it's so fun to learn it, and I speak from a place of not having had it for years, and or having it in small amounts here or there, being able to create only in certain strategic moments, but not understand what I was doing that didn't allow it to happen all the time. So it is a pure joy to realize how much control we have, and to realize that when we're not in a good place, we can start choosing things to get ourselves back in a better place. It's not up to somebody else. Nobody is creating it but me. If somebody else is, if I'm using them to say they're creating it, I'm allowing them to create in my life, and I get to choose to take back that control. And I call it the point of power, but it's reminding yourself that you have the point of power always for your emotional choices and for what you're creating. And that is such a wonderful, fun thing to know. So I hope you guys have an absolutely amazing, incredible, abundant, extraordinary day and week. And I can't wait to see you guys again next week, so that we can create more abundance and prosperity in a variety of ways by tackling these things in different ways. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if you're watching the replay, feel free to pop comments in. If there's anything that you're like, I'm having really a trouble getting around this, what can I do? How can I think differently? Let me know. Oh, awesome, Jennifer. So glad to see you here. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I hope you take away some wonderful tips that you can use, because that's my whole goal always, is to give you tips, practical tips that you can actually use to create the extraordinary life that you absolutely 100% deserve. You guys have a fantastic day, and thank you so much for joining me.